Now, Darwin, of course, came up with two basic ideas on the origin of species in his great book. One was that evolution had happened, that living things had descended with modification from common ancestors. And the second point that he made was that natural selection was the real engine of that change and produced adaptation. Now, when we look at the fossil record, which of course Darwin didn't really have much of at all during the 1800s, when we look at the fossil record, we see a really good distribution of fossils of invertebrates, vertebrates, the whole shoot and match, plants, animals. We can make from that inferences about how the tree of life is branched, but we can't say anything about mechanism. We can't say that, oh, the reason why birds branched off from dinosaurs is because of natural selection, or the reason why this creature branched off from that creature is genetic drift. I mean, we can't look at the fossil record and discern from that or infer from that any specific kind of evolutionary mechanism. The mechanisms we really study on extant populations or on populations that we can manipulate better. That said, what we have in the fossil record does not contradict anything that Darwin expected. What we see is we see adaptations, we see structure that indicates function that is suitable for particular environments. So we find characteristics that we associate with, say, hot, dry desert environments, like long limbs, slenderness, a kind of morphology that would allow you to get rid of heat in a hot environment if you're a mammal. We find those kinds of things associated with fossil environment, fossil ecological indicators of dryness or desert or some of these environments. So the kinds of things that Darwin was talking about, where the organism adapts to its particular environment, he said through natural selection, and he was largely right. We find evidence of that kind of adaptation, but we can't really specify any, we can't specify mechanisms with any sort of specificity, shall we say. But yeah, we find adaptation to environment in the fossil record just as we find it in species that we study in the present world.